Hello. I'm sitting outside the gym. I'm about to go in, but I figured I'd do a quick vlog. Today's going to be a little bit of a busy day today because my little brother's graduation's today. So we got like different family in town coming in and everything for that. I'm going to hit the gym here real quick. It's going to be a short day, probably half an hour, 45 minutes, something like that. Which is fine. I'm still fasted right now, so I'll be breaking my fast after the gym, or at least that's the plan. My blood sugar fasting was 107 today when I just checked it before heading out. I switched to a day shift schedule today, so that was a little interesting. So to do that, I basically cut out my evening dose of my evening and my lunch dose of short-acting insulin because I didn't eat while I slept, obviously. And I forced myself to go to sleep last night around midnight. I took my nighttime atorvastatin, but I left out the extra dose of metformin because it hadn't been long enough. I think I took my morning doses at like 5 p.m. So when I forced myself to go to bed at midnight, it hadn't been a whole lot of time since the morning dose of metformin. So I actually just cut out the evening dose of metformin and my vitamin D pill. But I still took the atorvastatin because that seems like it's a once-a-day thing and doesn't really matter if I take it at night or not. So that was a little bit interesting. I had to think about how I wanted to do that, but that's how I basically landed on that. So today I woke up, it was about 6 or 7 a.m. I went back to bed and I woke up again around 9, so I got a decent chunk of sleep in. Like I said, I'm about to go hit the gym. After that, Dad's going to be getting in town pretty soon, and he wanted to go to Local Boys, which is one of my favorite places, so I'm going to splurge a little bit. My blood sugar's been really good in the low 100s, even in the 90s several times. Not dipping too low like it was a couple times in the past, and not going too high. I think even after I had a meal where I thought it might have spiked it higher, my blood sugar was still mid 100s. So my blood sugar seemed to be evening out a little bit more, settling on the low 100s and 90s more often than not. Sometimes I think the highest I've seen it spike recently is 202 or something really low 100 or low 200s, which is technically high, but ideally you don't want the spikes above 150, I believe is what I was told after a meal. But yeah, so doing that today after Local Boys, which my dad invited my mom and my brother to, but they both didn't really want to go. So it's just going to be me, Dad, and one of his friends that's driving him. After that, we're just going to kind of chill. Daniel said he's going to go to his graduation ceremony with his two friends before the graduation ceremony technically opens up, so a little bit early. I think they're leaving 6:30. 6:45 is when they open the doors, so that's when we can start showing up. So we'll probably be going around the same time. Daniel's mom, Erin, will be there, and I'm not sure who else is going to show up, but he has that graduation ceremony today. 7:30 to 9:30, I think, is the times, but that's when they actually start and do the ceremony. I think they open the door, like I said, 6:45, so that's when we'll be shooting to show up. And then afterwards, Daniel decided to go with Sherry's as his choice for like going out to dinner, which basically we were like, pick where you want to go and we'll go there for your graduation dinner. He chose Sherry's, so we're going there after work, or after his ceremony at 9:30, so probably around 10 or 10:30 we'll get there. I'm guessing because of the graduation ceremony, it'll be a busy night for Sherry's, so we'll probably be packed. But either way, even if we have to wait, we'll just get a place. Yeah, other than that, not a whole lot planned for tonight. And as far as like my blood sugars and everything, I basically just reset everything to a day shift. I'll have to swap back by the end of my weekend. But my weekend this week is going to be quite a long one. It's actually 7 days. off, and this is day 2 of 7 that I have off. I might try and pick up. I'm not sure yet. I really should. Money-wise, I'm not struggling, but I'm behind money-wise a little bit, and that's mostly due to my hospitalization. Short-term disability pay doesn't kick in until after 7 days of a FEMLA or something like that, and I think I hit 9 days, so I might be able to get 2 days of 60% pay out of them if I really push for it, which I might. But I don't know that I'm in that dire of a strait that I would need to go to that length. Either way, I basically just need to look at maybe picking up some overtime to catch up, and I am kind of expecting that to be something I'm gonna do in the near future. But anyway, enough talking about my money situation. I can't think of anything else. Diabetic wise, I pulled off my shirt one night after work, and I pulled that thing on my arm off. So I actually had to go get it reattached, a new one, and I think they restarted it. And I'll show you real quick what that looks like. I put a Tagaderm over the top of it this time, which is that square, thin piece around it. And hopefully this one doesn't get torn off. It needs to stay on for a week or two so that I can get some information from it. And then I think at that point they might give me the full-fledged one or whatever that I can actually check my blood sugar with. This one, I can't check my blood sugar with, and at the moment it's just recording it over time, and then it'll be able to upload all the information later when I check back in. So it's kind of like a trial period for it. But I would like to get the full-fledged one, which she said I would qualify for as long as I'm poking my fingers at least 4 times a day. So I've been doing that and more, probably as many as 8 to 10 times a day. So that's not an issue. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. I'm going to get in the gym before I run out of time to do so. And my dad should be getting into town pretty soon, so going to meet up with him for some local boys. Not quite sure how I'm going to approach local boys, since they do have a lot of rice, and the other item on there is the macaroni, so it's carbs and carbs with a sweet chicken. So it's all sugar. So really, I need to look at what possibly to alter in that, so that I might get a little bit of a less sugar-filled meal. But even if it spikes it a little bit high, you can't have the perfect diet all the time. And spiking your blood sugar a little bit is easily managed with the insulin. Rather have a high blood sugar anyway than a low. But ideally, I wouldn't spike it to begin with. So what I'm probably going to do is maybe try and swap something out for veggies. I think there's a veggie option for a side. But yeah, that's kind of the only real thing I'm looking at right now, diabetic-wise. The rest of it's pretty much just been maintaining. From this point forward, it probably will be a lot of that, not a whole lot of alteration. But we'll have to see. Anyway, have a good day. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe to my videos. Have a good one. Bye.